The internet has been flooded with amazing fan-made Big Run announcements in the last few days, and everyone is ecstatic about the potential surprise announcements from Nintendo in the coming days. But let's talk about what we know. A lot of us were hoping that it could be a secret announcement for the final rotation of October's Salmon Run, but now we know, at least according to Splatnet 3 app, that after the wildcard weekend, we're only getting a normal rotation on Gonefish and Hydroplant, so at least I'm keeping my expectations low. For those who are not familiar with Big Run, Nintendo announced a special event just for Salmon Run where the Salmonids would invade the normal maps of Splatoon that you can play Turf War on, and unique Salmon Run rules would apply during this period, but not much is known about it really, except that it is similar to a Splatfest. Regarding Big Run this October, Oatmeal Dome, who data mines a lot of Big Run info, has also stated today that the way Splatfests work currently is that you can see proper scheduling and rotations all the way until a Splatfest, where they just stop showing up since they are unavailable. Salmon Run seems to work similarly, but since there are rotations all the way to the end of October, that's a bit disheartening and it's unlikely it might happen. On the other hand, we still know a lot about Big Run already through data mining and information that was revealed over the last weeks here and there, and one of them is that the current version of Splatoon 3 does not support Big Run yet. Which means if there were a patch any day on the last week of October, that could potentially change the whole scheduling that we see in Splatnet 3 app right now, as they could add the missing features and assets that Big Run needs, so there's still hope that everything might be flipped upside down. But there's been a lot of rumors and gossips about how Big Run might look like and if Salmon Run will ever receive new stages or maps, perhaps King Salmonids and bosses, and the chances for that are pretty high. We already talked about bits of information about this, but from the current version of the game, new Salmonid names can be found attached to Salmon Run, such as Wheel, Ghost, or Balloon, with even a special one called Big Balloon, which is highly likely to be a new King Salmonid. Remember, Nintendo did say in their direct that Kohozuna is only one of the King Salmonids to exist, which is quite a hint that we're getting more, and Big Balloon looks like a great candidate. The rest of them frankly sound very spooky, to be honest, especially Ghost and Balloon, and I was almost sure that would bring us a Splatoween Salmon Run event. Now I know there are just names and that's not much, but it was also found that these names have abilities and behavior attached to them, which is far more serious now than just ideas, and a Big Run could be a great debut for them. Either way, that is not all. A new game mode named Limited is also hidden among the files right now that has connections to the opening announcements of the game, meaning whenever it would happen, there would be a special announcement for everyone, which I originally suspected to be the code name for Big Run. Part of Limited seems to be multiple modes called Pair, Team Contest, and Underground, where Pair sounds very much like a duo mode for Salmon Run that would please a lot of the player base who don't have a full team of friends, and Team Contest could even be a simultaneous Salmon Run mode, though I doubt the Switch could handle that, it already lags a lot on Salmon Run. What excites me the most is the one called Underground, especially if it hints at a potential new stage or complete visuals. How cool would it be to give Salmon Run a complete rework of how it looks and introduce special stages with new rules to them, even especially in caves? Remember, Splatoon 3 is blowing up worldwide, and I wouldn't be surprised personally if Nintendo would try to push it to the limits. And with Salmon Run open now 24/7, it only makes sense to expand this PvE mode further so players don't get bored of it. Now they have to satisfy both PvP and PvE players to a degree with enough content. Apparently these game modes would also have their own reward meter with capsules, just like we have the normal shifts now. So additional chances for money and rewards, but that could be anything really. But the unique rewards definitely hint that this is something special and a special event rather than just something permanent. Some of these new modes would even be called scenarios maybe, or they would have scenario codes, which apparently looks like something like the replay codes for Turf Wars, and I so wish this to be true, as it is a very much needed feature for Salmon Run. So many from the community asked me how they could improve and how they could climb the ranks of Salmon Run, and honestly, replays for this mode would be the best way to get better. Now going back to how Big Run is supposedly going to work, it's quite similar to Splatfest according to the code. When a Big Run would happen, it would be announced in advance like a Splatfest, where the square may also change in certain ways, who knows, and then once we get to the date, Big Run would start, and at the very end there's a placeholder for results being shown. It is not known currently what results actually mean, but it looks very familiar, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's really going to be like a Splatfest. It makes sense, it's something they already worked with and know how to do. But that is pretty much all we know right now about Big Run and some of the updates that may or may not come to Salmon Run. Remember, these might be in the game files, but we never know what are just remains of alpha testing that might never see the light. What do you all think though? Is there a chance for Big Run in October? Maybe November? It's hard to say since there's a new Splatfest coming as well, and I can't imagine both happening just weeks from each other. Apart from that, let me know what you think about the new game modes and Salmonid bosses, if they sound interesting or if you have some good theories what they could be. So leave a comment and let us know. Thank you so much everyone for the support, and if you're looking for additional Salmon Run and Splatoon 3 content, check out the rest of the channel. Bye bye.